Hello and welcome to this episode of Navigating the Water, where I'm joined as always by our fabulous host, the CEO and founder of River VC, Stephanie Mckinney. Stephanie, lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you, Kim. And today I'm so excited for our guest as I found him through connection of LinkedIn. It was a little bit of a cold introduction and now it's becoming a warm friendship. So I'm pleased to welcome Akinnuga Ayobami with the a partner at Squid Capital. So welcome and thank you so much for joining.
Hi, thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Amazing. Yeah. I'm so looking forward to hearing this as well. I had the joy having been introduced by yourself, Stephanie, of catching up with Akinnuga last week, and I'm so excited about today's episode. So I'm going to shut up and hand it over to you guys.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey to becoming a partner at Squid Venture?
Okay, so my name is Ayobami Akinnuga, Lagos, Nigeria. My venture into the VC space was just from the interest to supporting solutions to problems that are specific to the region to which I am from. That's from Africa. So the span of tech is just developing here. So some certain level of tech is not properly established here. Just the tech here is just scratching the surface. So that's why you still see some limited sectors be attended to. So now what really stops tech from progressing here is funding. Yeah, Africa is blessed with super talented and brilliant persons ready to provide solutions to our problems here, and not just our problems here, our problems and problems around the world. But the first hindrance to making sure of this problem gets to everyone is funding. So I thought about it. Oh, okay. If I have always been a part of creating solutions, why can't I not be a part of pursuing funds that supports these solutions firmly? So, with my business knowledge and my business management knowledge, my finance knowledge over time, I just said, okay, if this is the best route, I'm just going to jump on and see what I can do as much as possible for startups that I know, for startups in Africa, for startups providing solutions to problems you have here.
Amazing. It's a challenge we see so often, isn't it? That we've got great ideas, great people, great businesses, but being able to connect them with the resources and the finance that they need to succeed can appear so challenging. So that's, from what you're saying, that's what kind of Squid Capital is doing for businesses in Africa. So how did you get started as a partner there?
Okay, so how did I get started as a partner? I reached out to the founder, and I reached out to the founder. We got talking. I explained, or I expressed my interest in supporting African solutions, and very importantly, I was looking for the best way I could leverage on one of the powerful skills I have, which is relationship. Relationship and business. I'm very good with relationships. So I discovered one of the key factors to having a very strong fund is relationship. That's not just a relationship with investors, relationship with the founders, yeah, and with a very strong skill I have of spotting talent and spotting solutions. Yeah, I'm very good with spotting talents, and what we do as Squid is not just supporting products, but making sure we can support with strategic hires, and because we believe the product can a stronger team or a better team can give you the greatest product ever. So creating the best team is the key to having the best products, because the goal of a company is not just creating one solution. Create a solution, expand the solution, create more solutions, and that's what just the best team can do. So expressing my interest or showing my skills of relationship and spotting talent, spotting solutions was what caught my interest with Squid in particular.
That's incredible. And having that ability to form that relationship, like you said, not just with the founder, but with other investors is crucial throughout the globe. It's important to everyone to make sure that you build on that relationship, that you're mentoring, that you're seeding that relationship. How many startups come across your plate on a day-to-day basis?
Mm. Okay, that's a very strong question. Minimum of 10, minimum of 10. Let me say, okay, on average, 5 to 10, or let me say 7 to 10. 7 to 10 sounds like, yeah, a better average. 7 to 10, and I'm sure this is a very big number. At the same time, it's small number. Small number in looking at like the number of startups we have here, but a big number looking at how how early we just got into the VC space. So that's quite encouraging. But something that excites me is, and something that keeps me going amongst all of the numbers, is just the solutions being provided through the decks. That means every deck is just that's a solution that solves a lot of problem here. So that's something that excites me even from the numbers.
I love that. You must get to see some real innovations coming your way, some real opportunities to change things for the better.
Yes, exactly. Wonderful innovations, smart solutions that solves a lot of problems, not just in Africa, but a lot of problems when you look at long range of scaling up to other continents.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So how do
Solutions that have never been seen. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you bridge that from getting the company, looking at the company, and then helping them find funding? Do you aid them in building their pitch deck and their relationships?
Okay. Yes. So because we're a prestige capital structure, we are super involved in the deck, and we're super involved in refining the idea. I've been doing that, eh, especially on my end for this week a lot of times because sometimes because of how crude these ideas are, even when they are wonderful and they solve a lot of problems, with the knowledge the founders have, sometimes the deck most times the deck would precisely not even sell the idea, but um, as as an experienced person in the venture space, you know what a deck should look like. You know how to sell the idea of the deck to investors. As even an investor yourself, you know what you should see. You know how lengthy. You know where to sell your ideas. You know the market projections you should be looking at. You know, oh, if this deck need to specific on the ARR. You know if a worst case scenario from a deck is not looking like what it should be. You know if a deck is inaccurate. So being a participant in refining the deck is key to us before we go on to introducing the startups to investors in our community, or investors are like friends, like Stephanie. So we have the community, we have like investors that are just our friends. So before introducing the deck to the investors, we want to make sure all these startups have gotten it right. So we're super involved with deck before the investor side, before we go on to the intro call, before conversations and communication can commence.
Amazing. And you've talked throughout of the importance of relationships. And I know, Stephanie, that's something that you tell us about a lot on this show, which is, that's what we're in the business of doing, isn't it? Is building those relationships, either, as you so eloquently put, with the founders, with the investors, with the team, so that they're really starting that relationship as they mean to go on. And the work that you're doing with that pitch deck and making sure that they're articulating their story is all part of that relationship build, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody who's in a startup now that's getting ready to look for pre-seed? What kind of things should they be bearing in mind or getting getting information about to ensure that they're ready to take that first step?
Okay, so the first on my list is getting your idea right. So starting a business or commencing on a startup project sometimes can be overwhelming. You may get the idea right, but structuring the idea could take a lot of time. So we've seen a couple of startups come with unstructured ideas, but because of an early stage VC, um, those kind of excesses are welcomed. But when you begin to scale up or try to reach out to more VCs, you discover that those excesses won't be allowed anymore. So, I mean, first is getting your idea right, structuring your team. The idea is important than even the team because what you get as a refined idea is what you communicate to your team before you now commence on research. That's if you are looking to raise funding or raise seeds and all, you must be ready to commence on very intense research on how your deck should look like, your product, even research on your investors, research on their interests, research on the deck, research on the numbers your investors want to see, research on the numbers your startup should be saying because um, numbers and health tech startup should say is different from numbers the clean tech startup should say. And there's a lot of information on the internet, so you need to be very, very careful of which you are picking and adapting to your deck or adapting to any communication your startup stands for.
Yeah, definitely. We've talked about that a lot, is doing your research on what you need, what people want to see, and then the person itself. Maybe you try to pitch to someone who doesn't invest in tech startups and you didn't do your own research and you're wasting your time and their time. So finding that cohesion between who your future partners are going to be is really important. And I like what you said, build out your idea. Build out your idea. So we've talked about it a lot. So you can pitch to anybody. So you can talk about it to anybody in any setting and be able to build out your team. I like that part where you said, it's about the team that's surrounding that idea that is also very important. So getting those ready and getting your research out there is a great advice to give to first time founders.
So I know you said one of your other talents is about spotting talent, and that's a great talent to have, isn't it? Because getting the right team, getting the right skills, getting the right experience around you is vital, isn't it, to our success? Are there any tips that you can give us of how to best identify talent in the potential team that you are gathering around you as a founder?
How to spot talent? I don't know if there's any really strong tip on how to spot talent. There's a serious level of discernment that must come to spotting a talent. Plus, I think the key thing should be your idea. Your idea should be a drive to the talent you attract to your startup. Yeah, it's very important. You are not speaking the wrong persons that do not believe in the idea. Idea here doesn't really mean the idea. Can mean the solution the startup is profiling. Yeah. So I mean, getting okay. Let me give an example. If I'm willing to start like an health tech startup that is just for maybe um digitalizing polio in Africa, picking persons in your team that's maybe picking engineers from Web3 to join the team is far apart, or even picking the food soldiers in the team. That's when I say food soldiers, I mean persons in the admin, that's aside the development side, aside the tech side. Um, Picking a Web3 person or an experienced Web3 person or a passionate Web3 person into your ed tech startup. Um, will cause some sort of imbalance in the team and will cost you time, cost you money, cost you productivity. Because before the Web3 knowledge has to go down, the passion of the Web3 knowledge has to go down to the health knowledge. So that's very important. Your idea, the experience of the persons you are looking to spot on, how passionate they are about your idea or your solution. Yes, that's very important. And how passionate they are and how productive they are. Yes, and how realistic they are too. I figure out some startups bring some persons on the team and they're not realistic with the persons they bring on, or they don't bring on realistic persons to join the team. At the end of the day, it causes some sort of imbalance when they commence the project.
Yeah,
That's great.
definitely. So a little bit on the foundation has to be sturdy. The foundation
Exactly.
is the talent that you see, not the glam, not the fashion, not how many posts or how many likes they're getting on Instagram. It's the core, it's the team, it's the value behind it, it's who they're benefiting, who they're going to help benefit. So I like that. It's what you find is you see through all that glam and all that fashion, and you look for the team, you look for the core values of that company.
I love that. Such great advice, because I think, if you find people that are passionate about what it is that you do, they become such much more productive team members, because you've
Yeah.
got that kind of shared purpose, haven't you? That shared drive. There's a reason that's not just the paycheck that they're aligning into, and that's where often you see the strongest and most successful teams built, isn't it?
Mhm. Yes. Yes. Passion is very key. Passion is very key to forming a team. Passion is very key because something crucial in a startup is uh, how will I put it? The extra work. So extra work. Everybody on the team must be ready to give an extra work. That's why it is a startup. You are literally just starting the business. So there must be some level of extra work that's ready to come on from anyone on the team. Yeah, so I mean, passion drives extra work. When you're passionate about a subject or passionate about a solution, when you give some extra work, you don't see it as a burden because it's your level, it's your area of interest. Yeah, so that shared purpose, as you said, is very key to figuring out team members or figuring out members that join the foundational team. Why this is important again is the foundation is crucial to how the startup will grow on. Yeah, so anyone that's coming in as a foundational block to the team is important because there's the time the startup will begin to scale where the founders won't have so much eyes on persons joining the team, and it will be the other members of the team that are bringing on the team, the new team members, or kicking on expansion of the team. Yeah, the values in the other team members will be a very strong key factor for them to bring on other team members. So it's very important that the foundation value, the shared purpose, the driven passion is there.
I love it. It's so important, isn't it? If we can get people aligned, because like you say, when you're in startup, we have to do things that are outside of perhaps our norm. I always joke, if on the first day that you set up a company, you've got your idea, and then all of a sudden you realise that you are IT and your HR and your payroll and your the janitor and your premises. So anything you thought was in your job description, we've got news for you. New things are coming in, and that's true, isn't
Exactly.
it? Of that wider team, that you need people who are going to be flexible to um, that adaptability that you need in a startup, because the work does come in and you just have to find a way through together of getting there, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. 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 You're correct.
Yeah, I feel like if you're not willing to go out of your norm for a project, then you don't have passion in it. You're not resonating with it. You need to find something else. But if you can build that passion, like you said in the very beginning, then people are going to put in the extra work. They're going to put in those extra hours. They're going to stop watching TV and instead work on your startup. So having that passion in the foundation is a crucial part in building a successful company.
Yes. Very, very crucial.
Yeah. So, what inspired the start of your African focus funding micro VC? Is it because you saw that passion? Is it because there were problems that needed to be solved? What inspired that start?
Okay. So what inspired Squid or inspired me joining the micro VC focused on Africa startups um, is passion is basically passion to support solutions that prefer support solutions that solves the problems we have here. As I said, there are a lot of problems that need to be solved here. There's a lot of problems that tech can solve, and Africa is sort of late to the party, but we're picking up. So a key factor to why African startups are late to the party compared to their counterparts around the world, it still goes down to funding, and the VC is just the middleman between the team or between the solutions and funds. Even even access to funding even outside the region. Yeah. So we discover what we do as Squid is some sort of portfolio management for investors outside Africa interested in African startups. So that came from several meetings and several analysis saying that their investors or their fund managers or their VCs or their persons with good amount of funds looking to invest in startups in Africa, but like do not know the right way to go about it. So, oh, we thought about it. Oh, why can't we not be the portfolio managers of those persons, then come to manage their startups and manage their funds for them. Yeah. So we know, oh, you are in Europe, you're in US and Asia, but you have like a VC that's your key eye and your key body, reading the pulse and everything of all your investments here. So at the end of the day, it takes us back to solving the funding problem and making the investors happy while the African startups are growing. So it's a win-win for us.
Amazing, I love that. So you've aligned kind of like your passion and your knowledge with an area where you can add value, you can help, and you're kind of helping, for want of a better term, marry up the investors that are wanting to invest in African startups with the African startups that are seeking that investment. So really creating those initial connections and helping those relationships build, which is a crucial step on the road to success, isn't it, for those businesses to get what they need to be successful and get their solutions out into the world.
Yeah.
Very true. I mean, it is a part of a VC to be able to pull those investors that align the same values that you're going to start investing in. So I think Squid Capital does a great connector, a great synergizer that finds those people and helps them with those founders and the startups that you guys do. So how is the African opportunity landscape, would you say? Is it more in tech, or what are your thoughts on that?
Okay. So the African landscape is just growing. Some sectors of some sectors of tech here that's growing. That's why you see a lot of focus on health tech, see a lot of focus on fintech. Yeah, yes. Why fintech is booming so well is because of our population, because of our money problem. Yeah, so a good number of I'll pick up Nigeria. There are a lot of unbanked persons here in Nigeria. So what the fintech guys or fintech startups are doing is making sure everyone can actually be banked. So you don't need to walk into traditional bank to bank. You can actually be banked, and some of them go as far as bringing cross-border payments, and that would go to the fact of our growing population here, or the population here is majority of population, 54% of our population is the working group population. That's age 18 to 35. So almost everyone here owns a business. It's very rare to see a 95% not even have a side also. So you could imagine the number of businesses we have here, which takes me to mobility, or takes me to the mobility tech or logistic tech. So imagine the number of business we have here that needs logistics to be taken care of. So you see the connection from health tech being the fact that our health sector here in Africa is terrible. That's why you see a lot of focus from a lot of focus from insurance, then going deep down to fintech, trying to bank the unbanked, trying to help businesses with cross-border payments, trying to make sure everyone access to money, trying to put in a mobile money where you could access money from your phones, you could open a bank account from your phone, then take you to helping the business owners that are now the banks that were unbanked before with good logistics problem. So you see those sectors are fast rising sectors here, but you see when you go deep down into things like the deep tech or you go into clean tech, you see the numbers here are not a lot. So I mean those sectors are still growing. Um, Good investment now coming on for guys in the media space. Good investment coming on for the guys in the crypto economy. Even here in Africa, we're still trying to get that full app of what it takes to investing in the crypto economy. That's why you see majority of the raises going on. You see them in finance, in insurance, in the health space, in the edutech space, and all. But all other sectors are still growing, and that's why that's um, that's noting to the fact that our tech space is still growing here. But the very important factor, the African market is big because of our numbers, because of our class of population, and because of how hardworking we are in Africa, and the push to always create solutions like to our problems. Everyone is trying to get on solutions to problems we are facing. I mean, few years ago, even in the COVID break, in the COVID period, you had to go to laboratories to do like lab tests. But now they are sit at home tests, and after the COVID, most of the startups in the health tech space diversified to even outside just running COVID tests, but going as far as other tests, even other tests, HIV tests, lab tests, and even going as far as vaccines, cervical cancer vaccines, all of those things. So like there's a lot of growth. The fintech before was just to get access to money on your phone, but right now you see a lot of things going on, even to the future of learning parts. Yeah, before COVID, future of learning was not really attended to, but now you see persons from their home getting getting diplomas and in tech related courses and couple of courses like that. So is the landscape big, wide? Are there opportunities? Yes. Do we still need more investors? Yes, because there are still a lot of ideas that are not properly funded or properly attended to. So I'm excited about what is looking like in the future. I mean, is my goal, or it would be utmost excitement to me to see more African unicorns like being better than all.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to see, what happens. I mean, sky's the limit and beyond. And Africa has so many opportunities and so many solutions and creative ideas to certain things. So I'm very excited to see how Africa grows in that sense, and founders and startups and investors in themselves. So I'm very thankful to have you on. And if anyone listening wants to talk to him, his information is below. If anyone has advice or would like to share a story, please let us know. But thank you so much for coming on and saving your time for us. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for having me. I enjoyed this chat of ours.
It's been amazing. Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys all. And until next time, thank you.
Take care.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.